Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kelvin again, and we are back on our channel Code by Moonlight, exploring technologies around the web. So the last time we talked about the structure of an HTML document. Today I want us to start diving deep into these HTML tags. Great. So a very crucial topic I want us to talk about today is formatting text in HTML. So most times we don't want our text to all look same. We want to have different type of formatting. When I mean formatting, I'm talking about the basic formatting when doing word processing, like in Microsoft Word. Sometimes we want our words to be bold, sometimes we want our words to be italicized, and stuff like that. So we can do same in HTML. And to just do that, let's quickly go to our desktop. Now we are on our desktop. I'm just going to start recording. We are on our desktop, and the first thing we need to do is to click on Visual Studio Code as usual. We want to open up our editor, and I'm just going to pop this up full screen. Now we want to create a new file. We already have an HTML folder. If you didn't follow the last video, please follow along so we can be on the same pace. Great. So we want to say new file. Select the language. I like to do this from here, HTML. Great. So we have those nice autocomplete. Now we want to save this. Where do we want to save it? Oh, we're already on our HTML folder. So let's just call it formatting tests. Great. We don't need to add .html. We already have this save as type. But if it's not selected, please select HTML so you can get that extension. Great. And now we have our file formatting test.html. Beautiful. Great. Just going to bump my screen size up. Let me see. So this looks too small. Thanks for the feedback. I got a feedback from one of my users that my tests were looking so small. So let's just pop this up a bit. If you want to do that, you press Control plus the plus key. That sounds like a repetition. Control and the plus key. Great. That's better. So now we want to get our structure up. We need the HTML. We need head. Oh, what's happening today? Okay. This is something we do so often that the community, the good guys, people at the company called EMMET, E-M-M-E-T, these are the company that provide good plugins for HTML. You don't need to install it, it's already installed VS Code. They have given us a shortcut to get this basic structure up and running. They know you would be doing this so much, so they have provided a shortcut. To get that, just press Shift and 1. So more like accessing the symbol. So now you get the exclamation mark, right, as it's called. Once you have it, you see you have this context window out and it's saying EMMET abbreviation. So you can just click on enter and voila, yeah, we have the complete structure. So now you can see we have a bunch of other tags we didn't talk about the last time. So we have a language, we're just setting the language of the HTML document to English. We are setting the character set. Basically, UTF-8 is pretty much standard. HTTP equivalent, we are saying at this point we want to be able to support Internet Explorer, the dreaded browser. We don't really need this tag modern these days because there are so many modern browsers out there, except you really want to support older browser, but we'll just leave this there. Great. And then the viewport, so we are trying to set how we want the canvas to be. So we are saying the content, our content is going to fit into whatever device suite, and then we don't want to start our website from a zoomed level, so the initial scale is 1.0, so we can leave all this default. It's very good. So the shortcut, we go again, Shift 1 gives us this, and then we can just start typing. It wants us to go here, we can press tab to go to the next, press tab, and then we can start typing it. You don't need to press tab, you can just break out of it and click on it. So let's say formatting test. Great, nice. So let's just pop in a regular test. This is a regular test. Great. And then let's say we want to have our first formatting tag. Now the first one I want to introduce us to is the italics. We want to display text in italics most times. Great. So we do that with the I tag, right? So this is in italics. Italics. You know how those tests are falling to the right, slanty and stuff like that. Yeah. So and then we have let's say we want to make text bold in the screen. We can use the B tag. So this is a bold text. Great. And we would get to see how this look like. So but let's go. There's another one that we have. It's called a strong test. Basically what it does, it makes your test bold, but then it has more semantic meaning. The word strong compared to the word be. What's a be? So most times if you really need to get test bold on the screen, you need to have that bold effect. I would recommend you use those tags that are more semantically meaningful. One of them is the strong tag in place of the bold tag. So let's use strong. This is a strong test. Great. And then with this same gist of italics tag, we have another one that looks exactly like the italic tag, and it's called the emphasis tag. Like I said, emphasis is more semantically meaningful than just an I. What's an I? But then when we say we want to place emphasis on this test, it has more meaning. That's what I mean by semantic meaning. So we can go say this test is emphasized. Great. Did I get it? ZX. That's it. Beautiful. So let's see this in action. Now, you remember how we do this? We would simply just go to our file explorer, we click on documents, go by Moonlight, HTML, and now we have formatting text. We want to, if you already see the Chrome icon, then that's great, but then you want to right click on this and say open with Google Chrome. Let's wait for the, we have all our text in one line. Well, we talked about that the last time, so I'm just going to pop the BR. If by the way, if you don't know why we have our test on one line, please watch the previous video on how the basic structure of an HTML document looks like. I explained that concept. But we are just going to pop in a BR tag so we have everything on one line. Great. Now if you notice, okay, I need one more BR here. Great. So now if you notice we have this effect, I'm just going to make this zoomed up. I have to go back to repeat that word. Now if you notice. Okay. Now if you notice we have some text on the screen. This is a regular text, no effect. And then this text is in italics. And we have this is emphasized. Now if you notice both of them kind of have same effect, right? You would argue. But then I said the difference between them is, okay, I'm just going to write the same words on both of them. No, I can't do that. Italics, emphasize. Great. All right, I'm back. So, if you notice, both of them have same effect, right? But why would we have two of them? Ideally, I was what we were used to before we had I, then EM came in. But the argument is, there are some tags in HTML that are more semantically correct, right? I'll prepare a separate video explaining what we mean by semantics and how to write semantically correct HTML. But then just understand that there are some tags that have more meaning, right? They have more meaning. So we have a tag like an I tag. Now, what would an I really be? You could argue, it's the first word in italics, so it's nice enough. But then it doesn't really have enough meaning. But then we have the emphasis tag, the EM tag. So that's kind of saying this is what this test has been emphasized. We want you to notice it. That's why we are adding this effect, right? And then we also have a bold test and then the strong test. And then you notice both of them are kind of like same, right? Great. But then same gist argues like what's the B, what's the word B, but then the strong is like more semantically correct. Now I would advise you, if you're writing HTML, you should pursue for semantically correct HTML code. You should pursue for your tags to be very, very semantically correct, because that's the way you can excel with search engines. Great. Beautiful. So now let's talk about some more tags. Now we've seen how this looks. I'm just going to add a B arrow. And then the next tag I want to talk about is the subscript tag. What's a subscript? We just have basically those tiny little stuff. If you remember in maths, right, you know the way we write log 2 to the base of 10 and stuff like that. So the way that 2 shrugs at the bottom, that's a subscript. Great. Or those of you that want to go to O2 Arena. So let's just do a subtag. And just a subscript. And similarly to the subscript tag, we have the superscript tag. So that's more like the raised to power, right? Great. So I'm just gonna put this and say SUP. It's SUP. So super scripts, superscript. Now let's see how this works. I'll just go to the browser and then I'll reload. Remember, you have to reload. We wouldn't really see this properly, but let's add in the normal text behind it. But let's just do a log. I'm just going to take this off. You get it better that way. Alright, on Windows. Okay, now you can see how this twist drop to the bottom right. And then we have the superscript. So I'm just going to do a simple x square. Great, I think you get it like this. Beautiful. Party guys who don't do maths, how are they going to understand this? Okay, those are the party people. So let's do O2 arena. Great, arena. My typing is whack today, and it's just morning. How am I going to code today? Okay, so you're just going to understand the superscript that thank you. Basically, you want something to be at the top. Wait. Now, what other tags do we have? Aside from a regular text, we could want a small text, and in HTML5 we will have the small tag. So this is small text. These small tests are usually very good for giving hints. So let's say we have a form input and then we want to throw in some error messages. We want them to be really small, so we could use the small tag. Wait, this is smaller than the regular text. So for that, I'm just going to cut this off. I'm just going to cut this off. Let's take it closer to the regular tag beneath it. Yeah. Let's see the difference. Now you notice it's slightly smaller, right? It's slightly smaller than the regular text. Great. Now sometimes we want to strike a line. We want to strike a line across a text. There used to be an old way of doing it, but basically such tests are called deleted. So we would want a deleted tag. So that would be del. They would say this tag has a line through. Strike through, actually, that's what it's called. Strike through. You see one word? I don't know. Great, but then beautiful. I don't think it's one word. I overthink things. Great. This looks wrong. Anyways, but now you get the point. We have this line across. So let's get creative. Now, I told you that HTML we have a concept called tag nesting. So we could actually like embed another tag in another tag. So a tag could be the parent of another tag. So I'm just going to strike through our beautiful Italics tag. Why? Because I don't want us to use it. I want us to use em whenever we can. So I'm just going to wrap this with a deleted tag. So don't do it with an Italics. You get? Don't do it with an italics, do it with an emphasized tag. Whenever you want strong text, don't do it with a bold tag. I'm just going to strike that out. Okay. Oh, it auto completes for me. Nice. Yes, good is nice. Don't do it. I'm just going to be more smooth. This one. Two bold text with a the tag. Do it with a strong tag rather. Use a strong tag. Great. Nice. The screen looks horrible, but it's fine. We'll get to the beautiful part of it. And most times we would want an underline text. We want to have underline effect. There used to be a U tag, but henceforth I'm just going to show you the semantically correct tag. Yeah, the better way to do it. So then we have what we call it inserted. Inserted. You get great. So this will be underlined. Yeah, you can try the U tag, it works, but then this is more semantically correct. Great. Now there are more. We have block quotes. So let's say we want to have like some quote of what a man said. So we could have, let's throw in a B tag, and there's a block quote tag. You can give me a favorite quote. I can't remember any favorite quotes. What's favorite quote do I remember now? Then we want some text that are quoted from other source, right? So this is coming from another source. Okay, what can I remember now? So I must be a website developer, said Kelvin. 22. So yeah, but you would have the gist when you get into writing more HTML. You'd see how it's, most times we have those quoted text, having some paragraph of the main page and then just be in the middle with some nice fancy effect. That's a very good wrapper for such. Great. But then we want quotes that are just like inline. We don't have a quote that will just take up a section. Like, when you read novels, then I think I should look for a picture. Novel paragraph with a block quote. Let's see if we have this. This is a good one. This is how we have the main text going and then we just have a block quote at the bottom, right? Great. So that's the kind of effect we want here. It's somewhat similar. So we have a bunch of text on the side and then we have this offset. Great. But then we want some quotes that are just inline, right? We could just simply use the what did I just do? There's no tag as one. We could use the Q tag. Is an inline quote. Don't want it to be block. So yeah, block inline. Those are concepts we would also cover. Great. Now you see it automatically carries these quotation marks, right? These double quotation marks. Great. So these are pretty much it. There are so many more. We have some for citing quotes. We have the citing tag that cites the author of a quote. So let's just see if we can use that here. That would be like cite. So this is Kelvin 1906. I said I was going to be a developer if I was born. Beautiful. Beautiful, yeah. But then we would need a PR. Yeah. Getting really rough. Beautiful. Just gives it some nice effects. So this is what Kevin said. Ideally, this should be at the right. Well, we can't do that yet. We can't do that. It's possible, but we cannot do that yet because we haven't learned it. And then there's a proper tag for rendering addresses on your page. Now you'd say, why wouldn't I just use a p tag to write in an address? Great, beautiful. The p tag is a paragraph, and we remember our gist about semantics. So we want to write tags that are semantically correct. Search engine would easily crawl the address of a page that uses the address tag than a page which uses the p tag for an address, right? So we would want to say address. There are many of them. So we can write 1 Lagos Street, Lagos State. Let's leave it there. This is an address. Now if I reload that, it has an effect, but then it's easier for search engines to crawl like this is an address of a page. You get done using a paragraph tag. So we would want to always use the semantically correct tags. I think we could also specify an abbreviation. So which word can we abbreviate now? Okay. So let's do it. ABBO. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, it's an abbreviation of Visual Studio, right? Code. I don't even know what I'm doing now, but it's good. Yeah, it shows up properly. But then whenever we have an abbreviation that have more meaning, then we could specify that way. But most times when we do this, we usually have some attributes that we would use to specify or whatever it is, but then we get to that part properly where we have a tag and then we talked about its attribute. You understand? These are basically formatting tags. They have not so much attribute associated with them, but then when we get into some other tags that requires us manipulating attributes, changing the values, changing style, we would get into this. Great. So now we have that tag, and I think we have two other tags that I can remember. We have a nice one that is usually used. Remember when you go through the book, then you want to have a mark on some part of it. You know, for those of us, we read the Bible and then you want to put like some highlights over it, and then we really have such a mark tag. So I'm just going to say B arrow, and then it's usually mark this text is marked. Can we specify the ink? That's just, oh, beautiful. I just reduce the screen size. So it just have a yellow. So now you would wonder, how would this browser know to do it by default with yellow? Okay, most browsers, they have their default stylings for some of all these tags until you get to override them. You understand? Great. So try this mark tag out on your browser. Try it on different browsers. See what it's going to give you. Alright, great. And then another one we have is the beautiful code tag. So most times when you want to show some code snippet on the screen, right, we usually use the code tag and then we style it so you know, oh, this is more like, this is like a code. It could be in any language. So let's just say is from HTML code. Great. So beautiful. Yeah, just gives it this nice font. What's it called? I've forgotten. You can Google the default fonts for the code tag in Google Chrome. Beautiful. So now let's just do a quick recap. So most times the concept is we want some text not to just look regular, right? We want to have different text effects. We could use the small tag for smaller text, right? We want the italics effects like the text screen or bend to the skewing right to the right, so we could use the italics tag. The italics tag is denoted using the em. I was just spoiling this, Ctrl Z. Thank God we have Ctrl Z. So you should use em whenever you want that effect, right? And then you should also use strong whenever you want that bold effect. So I'm just going to see if I can get this to the right so we can see the tags. Then see the output also to the right. This looks good. Great. So okay, now it's going to snap. Okay, great. So it's a regular text. This text is slightly smaller, italicized. We don't want to use that, as how we strike that out. So we should use emphasis tags. Then we have the strong tag. No, we have the strong tag. We have the subscript that will take the whatever is within it to the bottom slightly. We have the superscript that will take it up. We usually use it to denote power and stuff like that. Then we have the deleted tag, so we want to like have a strike through effect. So like deleted, we use this in e-commerce also a lot. So you have a price, a main price, which is like 2,000 naira, and then we now have we delete that, and then we now say it's now 1,800. It was always 1,800. Thank you. So we have the deleted tag, and then we have the inserted tag, and then we could have block quote for novel lovers. You would always see this. Yeah, this was a quote by a great man. Then we have inline quotes. We would use address, the address tag when we want to specify address on the page, right? This is easier for search engines to crawl at. Then we would have abbreviations, so we could specify some text and say, oh, this is abbreviated, there's a tag for it. Then we have mark, we want to have that light on the text, and then we have the code tag. Let's say we want some code from any languages, or we want to render some code on any language on our page. You would have a reason to do that. If you're building a page and then you need to maybe specify logs, stuff like that, you could play with the code tag. So this is what we mean by formatting text in HTML. If you haven't watched the previous video on how to structure an HTML document, I strongly recommend you watch that, because that's where the main story, that's where the main gist started from. You could also watch how to get the toolings you need. I have a video for that too. The link will be at the top right. And then we talked about the technologies that we're going to be learning. It's going to be a very long journey. It's going to be a very smooth journey, I promise you. So you can watch that also so you know what you are in for. Great. Thank you very much once again. Please, if you've not subscribed, subscribe to my page. Really subscribe to my page. It's helped me. I want to thank you guys so far. We already have 100 and something users. Yeah, so that's really good. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So let's keep the good work going. Let's share, let's subscribe. If you're taking a web course on, you could also take this on the side. I will try to make sure I break down this concept for you very detailed. I'll talk to you the way I would want someone who's picking up web to be talked to. So it's great. So once again, my name is Kelvin Omozobia. This is Code by Moonlight. We are doing web stuff. Share with your friends, invite your friends, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Just do everything you can do to make this page go forward. Thank you very much.